You really said about chicka wow wow.
I did. I did. Boom chicka wow wow.
Getting all this stuff straight.
Yeah.
You sound like Boosie Collins.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Boosie Collins is?
No.
How you don't know who Boosie Collins is? Like you really don't know who Boosie Collins is?
I didn't know he existed.
Oh my God.
Apparently, he's a well-known person.
He's a
that-
what now?
A well-known person
Heck
that
yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, you do, yeah. You don't know who Boosie Collins is for real?
Oh, wait, is he a
straight-
singer or something?
Yeah.
What his songs?
I'd rather be with you. This Boosie Collins.
Oh, I just didn't know his name.
Yeah, man. That's the.
Yo, there's a lot of songs I know, and I just don't know the names of the people. But once it starts playing, it's like, hey,
So you know the name. So what?
Hey, I don't know names. I don't know names of songs or the artist.
You just
unless I like it spoke to my soul. Then it's like, oh wait, who is this person? Did they write it? Who wrote this song? Then I start looking up. But like, when it's just a good song, it's just catchy. Like,
Then you
I just know all the words to the song. I just don't know who sung it or what's the name of it.
So you're more of a melodic type person when it comes to music, or
Well, I can answer that if I knew what that word meant.
melodic like kind of soul rhythm type, real singy like? Are you more of like rapping style?
No. I mean, honestly, I like rap, but I'm a singer, so I go towards songs that test my voice and see where I can go. But like, there's never like when I wake up in the morning, there is a playlist in my head.
You know what?
As soon as I wake up, there's a song playing. I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't even heard this song,
But you,
and it just starts playing. I have to like literally turn the music down in my head when I'm at work
you could be a
or when
genius.
I'm on the phone, and it's like this shit is just loud.
What
right
if you're a
now.
genius and you don't even know it? Like a low key genius.
Real shit. Somebody told me that. They was like, you low key a genius because people like I told this woman about how school went for me, like my
Yeah.
high school years, and she was like, you low key a genius.
How did that make you
I
feel?
was like,
Wait, have you ever tested your IQ?
no, I've never tested my IQ except for like I don't even know how I got to high school. Like I never studied for anything.
Oh, you one of them?
I never studied for shit.
You gifted.
Like I would say so. Like I never studied.
Ain't
I don't
nothing.
even know how I passed my GED
I'm
test.
jealous of that.
Like
but
I didn't study. I just took the test. I mean, a lot of stuff is just like it's common sense. It's like when you taking a test, it's like, okay, what would you want my answer to be? Who wrote this test?
But you know, a lot of people don't have common sense though.
Oh, I know. Niggas is people. Not even just niggas. Let me stop saying that. But people are just like slow as hell. Like just don't get it. I'm like, wait a minute. What is clouding your perception right now? Because you just lost in a motherfucker.
Well, what does the word clouding mean?
What do you mean? What does the word
What
clouded
does
mean?
clouding mean? Like,
Like-
some people don't know what clouding
Like think of it like like you got this haze over your perception,
means.
and like you can only see what you want to see and not what's right in front of you. Or like okay, so like we talking about common sense, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to think of like a good example of common sense.
Because what I may think is common sense, you may not. So I mean, like, what is there a universal common sense, or like how deep does the rabbit hole go when it comes to common sense? I know that sounds crazy, but I may think boiling water on the stove is stupid. You know what I'm saying? For like cooking purposes, for whatever reason, and you may feel like this okay.
Wait,
Let me
wait,
switch
wait,
up. Let me
wait,
switch
wait.
up. Let me switch up. This is a prime example. Which I guess this could be common sense, but then again, maybe not. I had two people I was cool with at the time. They was cooking eggs. One person cooked with a fork, another person cooked with a spoon. So one person may say it's common sense to cook with a spoon. Another person says it's common sense to cook with a fork.
Why the fuck would you use a fork with eggs?
That's why I say it's. So it boils down. What is your common sense versus somebody else's, or is there a universal common sense?
I mean, I think it's all. I want to say is there's a level of like universal, because like I mean think about driving. You know like you know you need to
But those are laws, though. Those are laws and rules that you go by. That's not technically common sense.
like when you drive, like when you no, I'm talking about like when you let me make it specific. Like
Okay.
when you first start driving, like you don't just smash the fucking gas. And if you need to slow down, don't just smash the fucking brake.
But some people do that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, it's like it's almost universal. Almost universal common sense. Like if you just want to come to a slow stop, you need to ease on the brake.
But don't somebody have to be taught that, though?
I wasn't taught that. It just
But
made sense that if
but
I
some
want to slow
people-
down, I can't just smash on the brake because it's going to fully stop the car.
Well, it's a lot of wrecks that happen up here because people just slam on brakes at the last minute. They don't warn the people behind them. So that's what I'm saying. Common sense.
I mean, it's really not common. It's really not common.
I ain't mad at that.
It's really not. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask this before I jump too far because you said you wake up with a playlist in your head. What is your, like, if you had to make a soundtrack to your life?
Yeah.
And one main song was like the go-to for your life, what would it be?
I can see clearly now the rain has gone.
That's your go-to song?
That's my go-to song.
Why?
Because it just, I can see all obstacles in my way. Like, I mean, it'll always resonate with you no matter what point you are in your life. And it's just like, it keeps you positive. Like, shit's gonna happen, but
Yeah,
you keep going forward. It's gonna be a whole new day. It's gonna be a brand new sun. Like,
So you handle drama well then?
You said what now?
You handle drama pretty well.
I would say so. Like, I've never been in a fight.
Never. So if somebody slapped you right now, like, how would you?
For real? Like, in all honesty?
All honesty.
I would literally just stand there. Like, are you serious?
Why?
Like, why did it escalate to that? Because see, I'm a kind of person that's like, let's get on level ground and talk. Like,
so talking is always a resolution for you?
Yeah.
What if it get to the point where talking is no longer that resolution? Then what?
Then you stop fucking with that person. If you can't talk, then why do I need to be around you? I'm not a fighter. I have never been a fighter. And there are some people who would rather be a fighter. And it's just like, I have never and will never ever want to put my hands on somebody. Because that's just, to me, that's disrespectful. Like, I could say to you, fuck you, and stay out of my life. And then that's what I do. I don't have to put my hands on you.
So friends, family, relationship, none of that. Is you okay with walking away?
Oh, for sure. Like,
what? Okay, how did you get to that level? Because that's really hard for some people to do.
I mean, because, all right, so I've only had like two to three altercations where it seemed like it was going to be a fight. I was in 6th grade, and there was this girl that I thought was my friend. Apparently she wasn't, and wanted to fight me. And my immediate instinct was to hold on to her hands. Like, just hold on to her.
Grab her hands.
Like, I just grabbed her. She couldn't get loose. Because for some reason, I'm strong as hell for my little self. And I just held on to her. And then her little brother came out of nowhere, jumped on my back, and started punching me in my back.
Oh, wow.
Barely felt anything. I literally did not feel anything. And it was just like, all right, we done?
But that was your adrenaline, though, that didn't allow you to feel.
I didn't feel nothing. And then another time, it was around the same age. It was a friend of mine. We was actually best friends. And we was playing around, and she actually hit me in the nose. It made me start.
That's not a friend, though.
We were playing, but she actually contacted.
That's not friends to, like.
Exactly. And so I go home, realizing my nose is bleeding. My mom's like, yo, what happened? I was like, oh, I ran into the pole.
So you protected even though she hit you, you protected your friend. Why did you?
I couldn't even tell you.
Okay, well, first let's do this right here. What do you consider a friend? Like, what is actually a friend to you? Like, what is the difference? Where is the line drawn from friend, an associate, and somebody you just deal with?
See, to me, a friend is somebody that's like, it's family. That's family to you. Like,
okay, when you say family, blood family, or somebody that's created.
Well, if I give you a little bit of background, my whole family on my mom's side is adopted, so none of us is blood. Like, none of us is blood. So it's just like that brought me in a whole new understanding of what family really means. You don't have to be blood to be
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Like it's all trust that goes into those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had friends that I thought that were like, like my sisters. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I have 3 sisters, but I'm not close with any of them except for
This your
like,
blood sisters, right?
yeah. And
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
kind of close with my eldest sister, but like the one I live with, she can't stand me. Like ever since I was born, could not stand me. So I don't even really understand what it's like to actually have a sister that's there for you, cares for you, like your best friend, somebody you confide in. That's who.
Does that hurt you or?
I mean, it always has. And I mean, when we were talking about fighting, the other time I actually got in an altercation was with her. I was like 13, and she is 9 years older than me.
And she still wanted to fight you.
Yeah, she wanted to fight me, and like this is when we was living in a motel, and like she went up at me, and like I said, I don't know, it's my instinct to hold a person down.
Wait. I'm sorry, I got stuck on. You said y'all was living in a hotel.
Yeah, oh yeah, when we moved here, I moved to Georgia when I was 10 years old, and we lived with some I think my mom's actual cousins, like they were
Yeah.
actually blood, but we didn't know them. They were pretty much strangers to me. And then I mean, all throughout my middle school years and a little bit of 5th grade, I was in a motel. I was in in-town suites.
Jesus Christ.
It was 3 of us, and
living in a hotel.
mhm.
Like how did y'all handle that?
I mean, me and my moms have always been extra close. So to us, it was just like, this is just a chapter. Like there was cable. We would get the room clean. We would go out and go walking. Like we never really. I mean, we lived in a shelter at one point, and it's just like
You know,
don't
looking at you, I could never guess that.
really.
Like I'm not lying.
Like what do you mean?
Not saying it in a bad way, but looking, it seems like everything's all together. Be like, okay, you like how you carry yourself, like you. I say this loosely now, very loosely, like a stable environment. But the way you just said it, like how you bounced around.
Negative.
How do you keep that like a calm demeanor?
The Holy
Because something
Spirit.
could go wrong right now, and I'm flipping out.
Literally,
you know what I'm saying?
literally the Holy Spirit. Like I talk to Him all day, every day in my mind, all the time.
Said the Holy Spirit.
All the time. Even though I'm crazy, well, I say that loosely. Actually, I ain't that crazy, but I still do what I want to do, although I know I shouldn't. He's still there for me.
So you do believe in God. You do have that relationship.
Oh yeah.
So what made you believe in God? At your how old were you when you started believing in God?
Well, I couldn't even tell you when. Like I've just always known God. Like
Was it something like you was taught or you learned for yourself?
well, it was more of my mom got saved before she had me.
Okay.
So my sisters, my 2 sisters and my brother, they knew a whole different mom.
Yeah.
So, I'm knowing my mom after she's saved.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, my dad was never there for me. I mean, like ever. Like I don't even know if he still knows my birthday or not. He just calls around the same time.
That's crazy.
Tell me why my birthday's like 4 days after his. Anyway, so she's just always told me, you have a Father in heaven. She's never been like, she's never forced me to go to church. But my family, my grandfather was a senior pastor at the church, and it was just like my family was at the church.
Yeah.
And I gave my life to God, to Jesus, when I was like 5. And I watched.
And you knew what you was doing?
Yeah, I watched.
Or was it?
I was in my mother's room on my own, and my mom talked to me like I was 30 years old.
So she never hit you
But
with
I
that
was
baby
little.
talk that she was like straight up with you about life.
Never, always. She always talked to me.
Do you think that helped you though?
Oh, most definitely. Like I learned how to, I learned context clues from her, because she would just say words. Like, let me think of it. Like if she were to say something like, "Can you convey your thoughts?" Right? She would say something like that to me, and I'm like 7, and I'm like, convey your thoughts. Do you mean like express? She'd be like, yeah. Like that's what she would do. And anytime I didn't know something, she'd say, look it up.
So she really wasn't playing around with you. It was like she kind of prepared you for.
I want to say she prepared my mind.
Well, yeah.
to always look after my mind, to always talk to God. So, but yeah, like I was saying before we go down the rabbit trail.
Okay.
Yeah, she. That's why I thought about it, 'cause she came from work and she brought me this video and was like, a coworker gave it to her. She's like, and it was called Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, and I think she was cooking dinner or she went to our grandmother's house. And it's funny, whenever I talk to my mom, she says, she'll just say mom, like she doesn't, it's swear it's like she talks to me like I'm her sister. But, so I was in her room and I watched it, and it was just like showing me people that, they make their own decisions and they ignore the voice of God, or they ignore the wisdom of God, and, they're in their own lust or greed or in their sinful nature or whatever, right? And it would show the people who still live like that, but then gave their life to God. And for some reason, I knew it was true in my heart at that age. Like, I was
no questions asked
at all. My mom didn't try to convert me to it. She would just always tell me, hey, you have a Father in heaven who loves you. Because I would always cry about my dad. And she's like, oh, don't even worry about that. You got a Father in heaven who looks after you. And it would stop me from crying. And I would believe her. And I was just like, all right, I know he's there. I mean, he taught me how to ride a bike. God taught me how to ride a bike. Like, it's the craziest thing. I don't know if you would even believe me.
I want to hear this.
But so my uncle, I lived in Warrington, Virginia. Okay. That's like, it's Northern Virginia and it's country. So my house is down the hill. Up the hill is my grandmother's house. Next door, about a feet over, is my great grandmother. About a yard back is my uncle. So we all right there, right? So my uncle got me this bike, and it had training wheels on it, because I didn't know how to ride a bike. So he paved his driveway. We all still had gravel, and my other neighbor, they paved it. So I would go around on theirs, and I would ride my bike there. Yeah. And then next thing I know, I remember I went to my uncle, and he was like, oh, let me take the training wheels off. You look like you know how to ride.
He didn't know whether you knew how to or not.
Yeah. He just gave it to me. See, he was like, you got to learn how to ride a bike. Nobody taught me anything.
You just hopped on it.
And I just started going. And when I came to him, he was like, oh, let me take your training wheels off. They were pulled up off the ground. Like, wow. I was just riding on the bike. When I got it, they were down.
Did you ride it in when the training wheels was on?
Yeah. So it's just like, what I can think of is like God was just like, keep your balance. And when I would fall or lean over, it would just be like, you're okay, you're fine. If I would fall, like, you're okay, you're fine, get up. Like, that's stuff I would hear growing up. And it's just like, even now, I always hear his voice. I'm always talking to God. So that's why I stay, bringing this full circle. That's why I always stay so calm and don't really let things get to me. I really don't take anything seriously. And I honestly think that because of God, I start to really love people and like just really love people. And that's why I said I can't put my hands on nobody. Like, I just really love people, and I don't want to hit you. I don't want to fight you.
That's amazing.
I never want that, and I don't want that. Like, there should never be a reason why somebody has to hit me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, sometimes I get it that, it's called for when
technically it's never really called for, but people do it as a last resort because they don't know what else to do.
I mean, see, my thing is, like, I get it with young men. They just, they going at it. It's like, can y'all just fight?
But and why? Then, if you had to guess why?
To me, it's like, headstrong. What's that? Testosterone. It's like, it's essentially who's the leader between the two of us.
So alpha male, gorilla style.
Yes, thank you. Basically, and that's what I see. And that's why, for me, I think, like, it makes sense to see two men, like, go at it, fight, and then after they fight, they're good. Either they're going to continue to be friends and there's an understanding, or they just go their separate ways.
I mean, sometimes fighting actually makes people come closer together.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. But still, for me, it's like, I don't think even when I've had altercations, it's like, I can't put my hands on anybody. I'll just hold you till you stop.
Better than me.
I can't. I don't know why. I just can't.
Nah, I want to ask this because I got to play the devil's advocate. What would you do if you found out God never existed? Like, I believe in God. I do. I don't want you to think that. But what would you do if you found out everything that you was taught, everything you learned on your own, everything you read was completely man-made? And there was infinite universes that when you die here, you go to another one. You hear from a past universe. You know what I'm saying? Like these alternate realities. Needless to say.
I mean, it's kind of hard to even imagine that, considering I've had, spiritual experiences.
What would you do? Like, what if you, like, of course, you're God. You know what I'm saying? We're made in his image, so that makes us a God, right? But what would you do if you find out completely that when you die, everything stops? You know what I'm saying? Because you are the God of this universe for you. And when you pass on, you wake up as an infant in a whole nother universe. Like, how would your mind comprehend that? And you knew the knowledge that, okay, I was this person here. Now I'm starting life with this woman that is not my mother that I knew. And once you hit like the age of 3, you blank out, and now you're starting this whole new life. Like, how would your mind? Yeah, I know that's mind-boggling, ain't it?
I mean, because it's like, okay.
I mean, of course, you can see God in everything to know he does exist, but just
giving a
playing
scenario.
off. Yeah.
Right,
what would you do?
I mean,
like, how would your mind comprehend it?
I don't even think it could. Like, how I'm sitting right here, just like blank. Like, that's probably what would happen, because it's like,
I mean, when
you believe something so strongly and you have so many experiences to back that, to back what you believe, and and then adding in your faith is like, what is life? Like, what is purpose? If whatever I wholeheartedly believed in was a lie.
Okay, how old are you?
23.
Do you know your purpose right now at 23?
Absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Are you on a journey to finding out what your purpose is?
Yeah, because see, I'm on a journey of trying to figure out what is my passion, and what I have started to realize is I really like talking to people. I really like hearing different experiences and what people think who God is and what their experience is. I mean, that I love to hear. I love to have those conversations.
So do you feel you're ordained?
For what?
Okay, I'm asking.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
I'm asking ordained. Maybe in the ministry. Maybe not. Oh God, what do they call female pastors? It's slipping my mind right now.
I don't even know.
I used to know it.
I don't even know.
I used to know it. Hold on. Let me see. What do they call it? Let me see. Women pastors. They are called. Let me see. Actually, I don't even see it. Let me see. Is it profitless?
A prophetess.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah. My mom thinks I'm like slick a prophet. 'Cause I mean, she be knowing stuff before it happens.
So she could call it out.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I'll say some things to her, and the next thing we know, it happens.
I'll look for it later.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of experiences we've had. Like, we'll say something, and then or think something, and then boom, it happens.
So you speaking into thinking into existence.
I mean, I don't even. I mean, it's not even that. It's just like a thought will come to my head. And it's like, oh, this is about to happen. And it has nothing to do with what I was just thinking about.
You sure? Because the
or
Bible
what
does
I'm
speak
doing.
on manifestation.
I get that. But that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It'll just okay. So sometimes I've had dreams where I would see what was gonna happen in the next 2 weeks, and it would happen, and I'd just be like, oh.
What if you lived it before? We could really go deep into that.
I mean, we could, but it was a dream. And sometimes it's like it's a thought that comes out of nowhere.
You know, it'd be really deep. like really, really deep.
What?
I ain't trying to mess you up. What if when we're dreaming, like when we sleep and we're dreaming, what if that's our actual reality? And then when we're up, like where we think we're conscious now, this is actually a dream.
I mean, that would suck because I can't run in my dream. Like, I can't run.
You can't run.
I be trying, and it's like I cannot run.
But what are you running from?
I can fly. I can hop and fly.
But you can't run.
No, I can't run.
You should look into that.
Like, I don't. Like, I would try.
Have you ever looked into that? Like what it means not to run in a dream?
Mm-mm.
Let me see. Can't.
And it would be like, I'm pushing through, but I could like. You ever seen House of Flying Daggers?
I have never seen that.
Or any of the like the Chinese movies, how they be hopping from tree to tree.
Yeah,
that's how I be in my dream, bro.
But you can't run.
But I can't run.
Okay, let's see.
Ain't that crazy?
It says, according to a site called dreammodes.com, dreams involving slow motion means you are presently going through a hard time experiencing some great stress in your walking life.
Oh, that makes sense.
You may be feeling powerless in a situation.
Ooh, that makes sense. Been going through a lot.
It says, in dreams of running, which are fairly common, we have awareness of our legs and the inability to move them. We may be dreaming that we are being chased and we can't run fast enough to get away. This is subconsciously processing fears of anxiety that we may not be aware of.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I've been through a lot.
See, okay. Now I gotta, like, just totally off topic, but I gotta ask, because you said by your actual physical dad not being there.
Yeah.
Do you think that has altered your way when it comes to dealing with like guys or certain situations? Because given just relationships in general,
right?
Well, like with anybody, because typically what they say, a girl's first relationship is with her dad.
Right.
So do you think like that, like you didn't learn certain how to handle certain situations due to that, or?
Right. Well, I mean, it's like I had to. How can I put this? It's like you don't necessarily. It's crazy because I actually have to tell myself my worth and my value because I didn't hear it from my dad. I never heard it from my dad. And yes, not having him in my life has caused many problems for me. I'm not gonna use it as a him not being there as an excuse to stay that way or to.
Yeah.
But it has, made me search for love and wanting to be wanted because he was never there. Yeah. And like I get that now. I understand that now, that it was like any relationship I was in until I got over my issues with my dad was a codependent relationship, and it was something that whoever I was with could not fulfill. And
no matter how hard they tried, it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and it's like,
do you feel like you put like unknowingly stress on them?
Yeah, and it's like I'm subconsciously I'm wanting them to be my father. You know what I'm saying?
Shit,
like
that's deep.
Like that's subconsciously.
But
that's
people won't admit that though.
No, not at all. And it's like you can't move forward and grow as a person until you really start recognizing things that are going on in your heart.
You know how many people will not, like women or period, will not say that? No. A lot will not do that because of pride.
Why? It's like you can't move forward if you don't say that. It's like the past relationship I was in was probably the first real relationship I've been in, and it taught me a lot about myself. Like I put people, the guy I was with, he was like an afterthought to whatever was going on in my life. Is I never actually been thoughtful towards someone else, and he showed me that. All other relationships, I just wanted to take and take and take and take and take and take. Just give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Okay, is it more like from a mental or like? I don't want to sound like harsh with it, but like
sexual.
No. Like gold digging.
Oh no. See,
okay, so it was
all I would ever want was like food.
Gosh.
But the thing is, like, if I, like, okay, so a guy that, he actually was my best friend for a while. We knew each other since I was 14. And we didn't actually start dating till I hit 19. We've known each other for that long. And whatever I wanted, if I looked at something and I was like, oh, I want this, he would just buy it.
Did you think of him less as a man for that, or?
Actually, yeah. Like I I really don't like to have a yes man. I don't want a guy that every time I see something and I want it, you just get it. It's like, tell me no. And it's like, if I know you, and it's, I know you don't got it, or if you're giving me this, expression that you don't want to pay for it, you
Mm-hmm.
really don't want to get it, why are you buying it?
To try to please you though.
Like, no. Like, no, just say no. And that's why I really liked my ex, because he would tell me no.
He would stand up to you.
Yeah, he'd be like, but no. Like, no. No. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I mean,
So you learned to respect him
because he didn't just
because
say
he
yes
said
to everything. Yeah.
because he said no.
Yeah, and I think
And everybody else that was like willing to go beyond for you.
it was a turnoff.
Dang.
Like, honestly, like, for you to just, do whatever I want and ask. Like, it's actually, and I didn't realize that till I met my ex, that's actually a turnoff. Like, a strong turnoff. Like, could you have a fucking spine, please? Like, and tell me no? Like,
But see, that's the weird part, cause it's like some guys don't really understand the balance, including myself, cause it's like you do this. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. I do this to make you happy. That don't make you happy. But I do this over here. That don't make you. You know what I'm saying?
but see, that's why I started reading the book Five Love Languages, and to really understand how everybody receives love a different way. So that's also, I don't like, I don't receive love through gifts. So anytime I see something and I want it and a dude just keeps buying it, like, that's not how I receive love. But that's what you thinking. That's what you think. Like, you thinking I understand that you really, really care about me.
Did you give them that impression though?
No, I would just say I like something and then they would get it.
Just
Or
what's
like,
the example? Give me an example.
okay, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I would pout because I want it.
But that's sending mixed signals though.
Yeah, but like I said, have a spine, because my ex was like, I don't give a fuck, but you cute ass. No,
That's just sad.
like, you look cute. Your pouting is adorable, but it's not happening. Like, that was a turn on for me. I mean, it really is. It really is. It's hard to explain, but not even hard to explain. It's just like, be a man. Tell me no.
Is it now?
And then, because I'll get over it. It's not life or death. It's not going to kill me if I don't get this. Or if you don't let me, like, ask. Like, I mean, no. Hold on. Back that up. That's my point of view.
I hear you.
That's my point of view.
That's just sad. You do know that. That's just sad.
How is that sad?
That's just sad.
See, I receive love through affirmation. So when you see me doing something and you're like, I'm proud of you.
Okay.
That's how I receive love.
So I get what you're saying.
I don't receive love through gifts. So it's just
that
like,
doesn't do nothing for you. It's materialistic.
Nothing. It just goes over my head. But see, when you get me something, but it was thoughtful, like, my ex got me a sewing machine and
A what?
a sewing machine, and I love to sew. Like, this top I have on, I made this.
Oh, you made that yourself?
Yeah.
You like an old lady wrapped up and somebody young. Okay.
And that meant a lot to me. Not the fact that he bought, that this is a gift.
It was something that you actually liked to do.
I actually really wanted this.
Yeah.
And I was researching it, looking for it, trying to find the best one. And then come Christmas, boom, it was right there.
And you had a sewing machine.
Yeah.
You knitted that yourself.
No, this is like the fabric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I made a top. This used to be a dress, actually.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
I feel you, Grandma. I feel you.
So at some point, I don't want to buy my clothes.
You want to make them yourself?
I want to make all my clothes, except for my jeans. Those I get from Levi's. I want to make all of my clothes. All of them.
Got to save a lot of money.
Oh, boy, would it.
You know how lucrative of a business that is, though? All jokes aside. You creating clothes, because somebody's going to ask you where you got that from. And you can stitch your name or something into it.
Honestly, once I get to the point where I'm skilled in sewing, I actually want to make men's suits.
That's big
specifically
business.
specifically for tall men, like 6 feet and taller. Because a real close friend of mine is 6'10", and he can never
You
find.
said 6'10"?
Yeah,
That
he
boy.
can. He tall as mother. He
I
can
hope he's
never.
in there like playing basketball right now.
Well, he does. He likes to play, but he got to take care of his family. So yeah, that's kind of how life is going for
I
him.
don't knock that.
Yeah,
Do what you got to do.
but whenever we would talk about it, he'd be like, he can never find a good suit, and anything he buys, he has to go and get it tailored, and it's like, is nobody looking out for the tall niggas? Nobody looking out for the tall dudes.
Nobody.
The tall and slim, like nobody.
Everybody's looking out for them.
So it's like, no, I'm talking about just for suits.
Oh, okay.
Just
okay.
like specifically suits.
Okay. I was about to say I could name plenty of clothing stores right
Yeah,
now
no, just
that
suits.
cater straight to that.
Most suits are like average size men.
Excuse me.
Like average size, like, you know, what's the average height for a man? Like 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'10",
Yeah.
6 foot.
5'10" to 6. That's like where you can put a suit on and you don't have to get it tailored. It's around that range. And that's what I want to. Once I get really skilled, that's what I want to do. I want to make men's suits for really tall men, and to where they can try it on and they don't have to go get it tailored.
What got you into that? Did you just wake up one day and the light switched, or what? Like, that could be your passion. Remember you said you was looking for your purpose and your passion.
Talking to my friend, and just like how it was really irritating him. Like, he could never find anything, and I was just
tired
like,
of hearing it.
no, I was just listening, and I'm
Okay.
I know you are not the only person that feels this way. I know for a fact you are not the only person that feels this way. And I was like, you know what? I want to make men's suits.
Like, I'm gonna try this out.
Is there any women that make men's suits? Because men just make all female clothes. I'm just like,
No, it's some women designers out here
for men's suits.
I'm guessing probably. I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah,
like all those award shows where, you know, they be coming out with all these clothes.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling who. Excuse me, who all makes this stuff? There's really no telling though. Oh snap!
How do we even get on this conversation? Nah, my job is like going. We have like this group chat for everybody at my job.
I know. I was like, I don't want to hold you too long.
And no. And they're like trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. But
I said, they ain't trying to fire you for the holiday, is it?
Hell no. They need help.
That'd be messed up.
But how do we even get on this
It's
topic?
just bouncing around, man. That's what
place.
topics do. It just bounce around. Just gotta let it flow. Just gotta let it flow.
But yeah, so that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Now, see, I was reading something, and I want to bounce off of this right here.
Mm-hmm.
It says, hotness versus beauty. And you said, like, whenever, like, your ex would tell you no, he was like, you know, no, you cute and pout, but no. Do you feel like you got away with a lot of that stuff because of how you look?
For sure.
So a woman that, well, no woman is technically ugly, but like a like a maybe a 5. Do you think they would have got the same treatment all the way around, like you did, like how you said you wanted it, and they just go get it? Do you think that would have happened to them? Tell the truth, Shane the Devil.
I would say yes if the dude feels the same way, you know, for me, like how the guy felt for me. Like, my mom knew he was in love with me before I even realized it. So I mean, if the dude is in love with you, it don't matter what you look like, and he will get you whatever you want if he is in love with you.
Okay, about to bounce around with this. You say he was in love with you, right?
Yeah.
But was he loyal to you? And what do you prefer? Do you prefer love over loyalty?
How is that even a thing?
It is though. It
how
is.
How can you even choose? Because I mean, if you love somebody, you want to be loyal.
Not necessarily. I could love you and not be loyal to you.
But that would make me beg the question, like, do you actually love me though? Because why would you do something that would hurt me if you do?
But that's what happened.
I know for a fact I was not in love with him.
But I'm saying, but okay, this is why you say that. A person could be in love with you so much till they want to hurt you.
What?
No lie. It's a lot of cases. Look at Lifetime.
That's not actually.
Look at the what is it? Like the crime investigation channel, all that stuff.
That's not actual love.
How is that not love?
Because just because that's what they call it.
Love is an emotion, right? It's a feeling.
What it is.
Love is a feeling. It's an emotion. Emotions go all over the place. Not saying that I would personally do something like that, but what made me say this, I know you probably may like take it for a joke, but 21 Savage was talking about that, and he actually made a lot of sense. He said, I prefer whoever I'm with to be loyal to me. He was like, I don't want your love. I want you to be loyal. Because loyalty is an action word. You can actually show loyalty. You can't technically show love.
Yes, you can.
How can you?
Okay, so if I love someone, I'm trying to think of a scenario or because okay, check it. God is love.
Yeah.
Right? So everything the opposite of that is something you wouldn't do to somebody if you love them. So like okay, like my ex, okay, I realized I was starting to fall in love with him, and I had every opportunity for some dude that even looked, if you're just going on appearance wise, looked better than him, or or whatever. I would always choose to love who I'm with and to be loyal to that person
That
out
means
of that love.
But that means you was loyal to him. Not saying that you wasn't in love with him, but you was loyal to him. Okay, this is a great example for that, right? You could give birth to a baby right now, right?
I would prefer not to.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying you
right.
give birth to a baby right now.
Uh-huh.
That baby could be given to somebody else. That baby is gonna love who that person is that they're with.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Okay.
Because they're with them. But you take them out of that environment. Like, okay, you had the baby. That's love. That baby goes to somebody else. That's love. Loyalty means they're going to stick with you no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't show love, period, at all. Like, you just can't do it. Like, maybe if you hear him, he can explain it better than I'm saying it. But the analogy he used was with a baby. Like, a baby that's love. That's not loyalty. Because a baby loves that person who they're with. That's who they know. But that doesn't make them loyal to them because they could run off to somebody else. Like if that baby's given to somebody else, then that love bounces around. Like dogs. Dogs are loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't want to see anybody do this, but you could beat a dog, hit a dog, whatever, starve a dog. That dog is going to come back to you because that dog is loyal to you. Kind of get what I'm saying now?
I mean, I get it, but see, I was raised with dogs too, and not all dogs are like that. Like and it depends on the breed. Like,
I mean, it could be broken down, but
I understand what you're saying. But for me, it's like I don't see how you can separate the two.
You could definitely separate the two.
Like it's hard for me to begin to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. You said you can't separate the two, right?
Right.
Your ex that you said you was with, you loved him and you was loyal to him, right?
Right.
Are y'all together now?
No.
Do you call and check up on him now?
No, but he checks on me.
But you said you were starting to fall in love with him, right?
Yeah, that was.
But you said it's hard to separate
towards the 2 years of our relationship.
Have you ever spoke ill of him?
Never.
Okay, well, you said you don't call him, never spoke ill of him. Like, but y'all are not around each other now.
Mm-mm.
Then that was love. Loyalty would cause you to call him, check up on him, want to see him because you're loyal to him.
Well, I mean, I'm loyal to him as a friend now. That if he needs anything, I'm here. But I'm not about to still act as though I'm your girl when we're not together anymore. Loyalty doesn't stop just because we're no longer in a relationship. Like
so the two could be separated.
No, like I still love him and I will still be loyal to him, but it's on different levels. Like I'm not your girl no more. But if you need anything, if you gotta call me and something's going on, like I am there. Like when I used to think I was a lesbian, I had a
Shit.
girlfriend for 3 years. And to this day, if she needs anything, I am there.
Okay, I gotta ask. I'm sorry. I gotta ask. What was that experience like? I have to ask. What drove you there?
I want to say for me, I want to say that started to birth out of insecurities. I mean, yeah, it actually it did, and
So you turned to a whole lesbian out of insecurities.
that's what I think at this point now. After taking some time and writing about it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it came out of insecurity. So instead of seeing a woman, or at the time when I was young, seeing a girl that's beautiful, and instead of getting jealous, I would pervert it and think she's fine and want to fuck her. And it would then give me a whole different kind of confidence to see if she's gay or not. Half the time,
Jesus Christ.
girls that are like that say they're not gay, the way I would come to them, they could not help it and still end up kissing me.
You was turning chicks out.
I was.
Jesus.
Like, I was, and it was just because it gave me a different kind of confidence.
What kind of confidence could that possibly give you, though?
I mean, think about if you
That's not a
would've-
good confidence.
It's not. I don't doubt that. But, I mean, that's what it was for me. That's exactly what it was. It was just like, and then once I started to, talking to my moms, she said to me one day, she was like, when this is like during the time I really thought I was a lesbian, we were in the kitchen and she was like, I want my daughter back.
So did your mama support you?
Oh, I mean, she had nothing but love. I mean, nothing but love. Me and the girl I was with, we ended up living with my mother. And then the girl I was with, her friend, something happened with him and he ended up moving into our house. My mom didn't know this man. And she had us, all three of us, in the living room. She took care of us.
That's trustworthy.
All of that. Yeah, she was. I mean, absolutely. And she didn't know what to do. She just prayed, and
she did.
One day she was like, I want my daughter back. And it just hit me. I was like, what? What do you mean? And, I mean, I always knew, what the Bible says about being a lesbian. And it was just like, every time I would try to go and search for it, I couldn't find the scripture. It was crazy. I couldn't find it. And then one day, it had me battling with so much turmoil for like a year. I would be going to sleep crying because I didn't understand why I had these feelings for this girl. But also at the same time, knowing this is just not right for some reason. Like, I just felt it in my soul. This is not right. But in my heart, I was like, I want to be with her. And what I did, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go with my soul and just be like, I will go with my spirit and be like, all right, God, you said this. I know you said this because I feel this. So I'm going to decide to not be with her because of that. Because this is what you said. Because this is how I feel. I'm just going to side with you regardless. And it took, a year or so to really get it out of my system. And then out of nowhere, I just no longer saw women the same way. Anymore. Like, just.
Do you think that was a test or?
I don't think it was a test. I think it was just a journey to find out who I am.
That's a hell of a journey.
And learn some things about myself. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm telling you, it was birthed out of insecurities. Now I can really just sit and look at another woman that's beautiful and just be like, you are gorgeous. And then keep it moving.
Are you comfortable with who you are today?
Oh, yeah.
Since you say that came out of insecurities?
Yeah. I mean, I was like 14, 15, 16.
That wasn't even too much long ago, though. Like 6 years, 6, 7. Well, no, I'm sorry. That was a minute ago.
That was like a decade, more than a decade ago.
Not a whole decade. You said you're 23, right?
Oh, damn. Let's pretend I didn't say that. I am not in the mood for math.
Not a decade, but I get what you're saying.
But yeah. It was like, what, 9 years ago? But yeah, so, I mean.
And when y'all have conversations to this day, how are those conversations?
Just looking out for her and wanting her to get her life together. Because she still acting as though she's a teenager. And it's like, you got to stop.
Ain't that irritating? Ain't it? Like, some
like
people just.
Could you grow up, please? Could you take responsibility? Could you please? Like, do you want to be a child all your life?
And you do that because you're her friend. Because technically, you don't have to do anything.
Exactly. And that's because I mean, I love her.
Mhm.
I love her. It's not the way it used to be, and it never will be. But I know who you are. I know that you need love. So I'm going to be a source of love for you. I'm not gonna let you cross
Now,
any
I
boundaries.
was about to say you got to be careful with that because
Right. I'm not gonna be stupid about it. I'm not gonna,
some people do that just to use you.
yeah, but what I would have to allow myself to be used.
But how do you know? Okay, it's how do you know you're being used though? Because it's just like
I mean, because
it's just like a slave mentality.
you can feel that energy. You
can.
can feel that energy, and it's like if somebody comes to me and they want me to do something, if I immediately feel like I shouldn't do it, or if I feel like I don't think I should do this for you, then that's when I realize I think I'm being used right now,
But well, yeah.
and it's just
I got to play the devil's advocate though. Sometimes we get those feelings and it's false too. Because sometimes you could be like, man, I really don't want to help this person out, but this person is testing you just to see will you do it, and they have greater intentions for you.
I mean, but how often is that scenario though?
Uh,
And that's the thing, and it's
Prime
like,
example. I mean, I was listening to Joe Osteen, and
oh,
he the one that
Jesus.
really. I like his stuff, man.
I don't like Joel
I
Osteen.
like his stuff. It was, which it relates.
It's
It's related, but it's not exactly the same.
it's so
He was
sugar
like,
coated. Good God.
your gotta use your enemies to boost you. Like he put them in your. Not saying that they're enemies, but he put certain people in your path to make you better.
Right.
So you do things that you may not necessarily want to do, but that elevate you to where you're supposed to be. Prime example, David and Goliath. We wouldn't know who David was if Goliath would never came in the picture.
Right.
He'd have just been some dude that was, what kind of job was it he had prior to fighting Goliath?
He was a shepherd. I think. Was he? Well, he looked after the flock for his father.
But we'd have never known. He'd have just been some dude, some random dude. But you think he really wanted to fight Goliath?
I mean,
So same
well,
thing with
to him it was nothing because he went after bears and lions and he fought them off
but we wouldn't have known his main. But we know the battle of David and Goliath.
right. I mean,
So I mean that could be, and he didn't want to do that. I said that to say, like certain people, it's like, man, I don't. Do I really want to do this?
I mean,
But let me do it anyway. And
I get what you mean because like my cousin, I don't want to be on the phone with him sometimes because all I hear is like, just complaining.
yeah,
And it's just like, man, I don't want to talk to you. But you may need somebody to talk to. So it's
you
just
took
like,
that right out of my mouth.
So it's just like, all right, I gotta pick when, I can be genuine. Like I'm not. If I can't be genuine about it, I'm not gonna do it for you. Like I'm not gonna do it because then it's just gonna, it's gonna eat at me. Like I need to stay 100% with me at all times because I have to live with me. You don't have to live with me. I have to live with me, and I have to be able to, stand by whatever I do, whatever decisions I do, or whatever decisions I make. So it's like if I can't be genuine with you, then I'm not gonna do it. And if that may cost our friendship, then so be it.
I don't know. You gotta be willing to take the that heat sometime with yourself.
I mean, he's gonna come regardless. But that's what I'm saying is at all times, like I'm going to be 100% with myself.
What you gotta fake it till you make it.
I ain't faking shit.
Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it though. So okay, I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked somebody this morning, right? So let's say I'm on the brink of suicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've called a few people, nobody answered the phone. You're the only person responding right now through text message, and I call you. I could be like if she don't answer the phone, I'm killing myself. And you could be like, man, I just not today. And you don't do it. Then what? Then you're gonna be like, oh, you wouldn't care? You would still.
I mean, at that point, I would have known.
But see, that comes with sometimes you gotta fake it.
And it's just like, no.
Cause you never know when a person really might need it.
But see, I'm not about to take your burdens of life on myself.
It's not really a burden. It's just that you could just be that voice of reasoning.
If that's what was supposed to happen for you. Like I'm saying, like, with your example,
Cause God created you to be a tool, as well as me, as well as everybody else. We're tools, right?
right.
We don't know when we're supposed to be a tool. We
But
just know we was
why-
created to be a
See,
tool.
for me, that's why it's like you listen to the Holy Spirit when they're, and that's where it's like, okay, this is something I don't want to do, but I know the Holy Spirit is telling me to
I
do
gotta
it.
be a devil's advocate again. I gotta play it. That same voice that you hear,
Mhm.
that is Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
You know, the devil can speak to you as well.
Oh, obviously.
So how do you distinguish the voices?
Would you know your mother's voice if she called you from a number you never heard, you never seen before?
Of course,
Exactly. So I talk to him all the time, so I know his voice.
That's the-
It's not some random person or some random voice every single time he talks to me. No, I know his voice. Just like I know my mother's voice. She could call me from whatever phone.
Call you
It doesn't even have to be a number from the States. If I hear her voice, I know it's her. I don't have to be like, oh, who is this? No, I know it is my mother. Just like if I'm talking to God and I hear his voice, this is my Father. I know your voice. I'm not stupid.
Can't even argue against that.
You gotta stay in constant that's what I believe in, is having a relationship with God.
So
How do you do that? How do you have a relationship with somebody? You spend time with them. You talk to them.
So I want to ask you something. Have you ever reached a point where you question what God did?
Oh, all the time.
How do you get through that?
I just talk to him.
Just like that.
I just talk to him.
And
It's
you
like,
just trust.
like when it came to when my brother died. He died like 2 years ago, and it pissed me off. I told God I was pissed off at him because I was hit by a car at 15. I didn't die. My bones were broken perfectly. I healed within a couple of months, and I was fine. You wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to tell I was hit by a car unless I showed you my scars. Yet my brother is in a car. I was hit just walking. He was in a car. He hit a tree, and then it engulfed in flames. You mean to tell me my brother burned alive? I was pissed at God. But then I realized it's not him. And then my anger turned towards my brother. I told you, we would talk about it. You don't have a fucking license. Why are you driving? 2, why are you texting and driving? 3, it's 10 o'clock at night and you're driving fast and it's raining. 4, why were you drinking and driving? You put yourself in this predicament. Why am I getting angry at God? That's not his fault. And I already know he was warned. Because God warned me when I was getting ready to cross the street. I heard use the crosswalk 50 million times. But because I'm so used to walking to school, I would always cross that road. And I ignored it. Boom, got hit by a car. God warns you. He always warns you. Always. It's your choice to listen. If you don't want to listen, how you going to get mad at God? How? So yeah, I was pissed off. And then I realized, like, look, you did this to yourself. And I let it out. When you mad at somebody, don't hold it in. If you pissed at your moms or you pissed at your friend and they did something to you, you express your feelings and then it gets resolved.
Does it always get resolved, or do you
Between
just
me
let
and
it?
God, it
Oh,
does.
okay.
But when it comes to, you know how people are. Like, some people don't want to hear your side. Some people don't care about how you feel. Like me and my friend, like, she's somewhat my best friend. We're kind of like getting back to it. We used to be real tight and then we fell off. We kind of coming back together now, but it's like, she always expresses herself. And we had this conversation where it was like, don't tell me to calm down if this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, just understand somebody's emotion about something. I don't have to agree with you, but I can understand you.
You mean you could be empathetic?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, I can understand why this would piss you off in your point of view. And then just let it be that. That's why I still don't, that's probably partially why I don't really get in fights. 'Cause like, I've never tried to do any ill will towards somebody. That's not.
No matter how they.
I've never had that intention ever. And it's like, okay, if you take it that way, that's on you.
Yeah.
I can't control that.
You just let them be whoever they are.
Yeah, just be who you like.
Better than me. I could hold a grudge, man.
I mean,
I could hold a grudge.
That's so heavy.
What, holding a grudge?
Yeah, that's so heavy.
I don't know. I mean,
that's so heavy. That's so heavy.
Not really.
I mean, it just the word sounds heavy. Like,
I mean, some stuff is just unforgettable and unforgivable, though.
I guess. I mean, because I have to bring it back to my faith. If God forgives us, how can I not forgive somebody?
But
I mean, that's all I think about. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie with you. I still have to come to God to, further help me forgive my dad. I don't know if I fully forgive him yet, but I'm willing to. I'm willing to forgive people. But I ain't gonna say it's easy. I ain't saying it's gonna happen, just because I said it.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time. But I'm willing and open to forgive somebody for doing what they did.
Hard to go. I guess I don't know. When it comes to my mom, I can't forgive like this one person because they, what they did to her. You know what I'm saying? I can't forgive that. I can't forget it either. But that's why I said you got hard to go with yours because I can't. Some stuff is just.
I mean, and that goes to, your perception of things, because see, I always think about the verse that, your enemy is not flesh and blood. So my enemies aren't people. It's not people who are my enemies. It's Satan who is my enemy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you poor soul are being so manipulated, you don't even know. Like, you are just agreeing.
So you take it far beyond the whole physical world. You just straight spiritually.
Yeah.
Like, that person's being attacked. They don't even know it. You feel bad for them for being attacked.
Because from birth, my sister never liked me. Like, she has told me to go to hell multiple times.
This your own sister?
Yeah. She has told me to go to hell multiple times. She has called the cops on me twice. She has tried to fight me twice. And I have never, ever, ever did anything to this woman ever in my life. My brother, we would sit and we would talk, and he'd be like, what is her problem? Like, something is wrong with her.
That hurts you a little too, doesn't it?
Oh, every day. Because I feel it every time, and I have to live with her.
And every time you try to address it, how does that go?
Oh, she'll just blow up. And she'll say, oh, you know what you did. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What, being born?
I've never done, exactly. I've nebecause done anything to you. And that's, to me, shows that's not even her. And there was a time when we, I almost, because I prayed about it, and I would pray. And then this one moment, because, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Yeah, so one day she was going, and she was like, I don't know why I'm like this. Straight up said it. I've never heard her say it before, and she's never said it again.
It just came out one time.
It came out, and I was like, it's not her. It's not her. I can't be mad at her. She doesn't even know why she's like this.
So do you feel that, like, as strong as your faith is in God, that's what the devil, like, you feel that, like, as strong as your faith is in God, like, the devil just straight up don't like that?
Oh, most definitely. Like, because of my faith, life is only going to get harder.
Whew. Are you willing to accept that, though?
I will be happy. Because it's like, wait a minute. Oh, what I'm believing is true.
Some people lose their mind.
Oh, what I'm believing is true. Oh, what I'm believing is true.
Which goes back to me
for no reason. You hated me for no reason. Why? Why do you hate me? I have done nothing to you but believe in Jesus. Why is all of this craziness happening to me? Oh, something must be right. Something must be right.
Which goes back to that question when I said, find out it doesn't exist, which it do. And that only confirms how you felt from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be mad at that.
Mm-hmm. It's like, there was times where I mean, I have gone through the whole doubting thing and thinking God wasn't real, but I couldn't 100% do it. Like I couldn't. I just couldn't. And it's just like I can't. I could try, but then it was like, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling like this? I'm looking outside. Like, you can't sit here and tell me this came from nothing.
Yeah.
Like
the big boom theory.
Right. Like you can't tell me this came from nothing. All of this, like me, a person, being able to hear myself in my head. Has anybody ever thought about how they sound in their head? Has everybody like ever thought like I'm thinking right now?
Or is it the headphones?
No. You know what I mean. So it's just like I'm an intelligent being made by an intelligent God. He is out there. So it's just like the more I would just like genuinely just want to search for God, I keep finding Jesus. The more I want to search for God, I keep finding Jesus.
So what advice would you give to somebody that's kind of sitting at that crossroads right now where they don't know and they want to find it? Like if I didn't know how to find God for myself, what advice would you lend me?
Talk to him.
Just start talking?
Because I mean, like, he's so patient. He's such a patient God. And he's just like, he's waiting for you. So it's just like, where you are right now. Just where you are right now. Talk to him. With what you know, with what you understand. Talk to him. And he's going to guide you the rest of the way.
That's interesting. I can't even be mad at that. That's some good advice. Some really good advice. Really good advice, actually.
Oh. Nice.
You all right with me. You all right with me. Like you about to tear up over there talking about him.
I mean, it's because it's like, I feel, I'll feel like a hypocrite sometimes. Like to myself, it's like, I can't sit here and talk about how much I love God. And last night had a, one night stand with somebody and I was drinking. It's like, is that make me a hypocrite? But it's like, I can't even help it because he's all I know.
What, you can't help the one night stand or you can't?
God.
Oh, okay.
This is what I mean. It's like, because it's like, even just talking about it makes me feel like a hypocrite because of, what I choose to do sometimes. But it's like, you know what? I realize this is a journey. Like, I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to make stupid mistakes. And I'm going to just keep coming to God.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to just keep coming. Like, I was stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that again.
I mean, a guy, I was watching YouTube, a guy said that's how he actually got over his porn addiction. He said he would watch it, and even though he was watching it, he would pray in the middle of watching it. He said it took some time. He said it felt a little weird, but he said he just lost the urge to want to watch it.
And that's what I love about God. He's so patient. Like, he's so patient. And it's like, I know in my heart I'm not going to always be like this. Because I know he's with me. And he's willing to listen to me. And I'm willing to talk to him through everything.
Yeah.
And just keep coming to him as I am every single day. Like, I don't have to go by these certain rules. I don't have to, try to clean myself up before I come talk to him. I know I can come to you where I am always. So, but that's why, even though I may feel like a hypocrite, I still got to talk. I still got to talk about God. I still got to talk about his love. Because that's only going to bless me at the end of the day. Because it's like, dang, he really is an amazing God. Like, he really is. And then it starts to make me remember that he forgives me and loves me. And it's like, okay. Because of that, it makes me want to just take one step away from what I do. Even though I may be having fun and this is what I want to do. But because I keep realizing how much he loves me, it's like, okay, I can't keep doing this. I really can't. And it just shows like he's changing my heart. Cause before I would be whatever, like, hey, getting it with no, like,
You didn't care.
What's that word?
No feelings.
No conviction.
Yeah.
You know, but then all of a sudden, the more I would talk about God, how much He loves me, and then the more I would, read the Bible, or just think of a verse, or end up having a dream about Jesus, it makes me feel like, dang, I shouldn't be doing this. Where did that come from? How did I go from no conviction to having some? He's working on my heart. He's, bringing me closer to Him.
Yeah.
Through that. So it's like, now that I say that, I don't really feel like a hypocrite. I'm just being real.
I respect that. I respect that.
All right.
Well, I must say, ma'am, this was a pretty good talk right here. Brought me closer to the Lord. But
yeah, man.
We definitely gonna continue this right here at a later time. I know you got some sushi.
Yeah, I gotta get
to
some sushi, man.
So okay, one thing.